Okay. Synchronised watchers, 1 minute behind. Welcome everybody to the Appointments and Conditions of Service Committee, and we'll start off with apologies for absence. Got any? No, we haven't got any, have we? No, we're all here. So moving on to approve as correct record minutes of the meeting held on 8th of the 10th, 2025. I'll move those. Agreed, thank you. And declaration of interest. Non-declared, thank you. So we'll move on to the pay policy statement, and that's a report to the Assistant Director of Workforce. Jen, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. So good morning, everyone. The purpose of this report is to ask the committee to approve the updated pay policy. Now, this is normally published each year on the Council's website prior to the 31st of March. As you've seen, the report provides lots of information in terms of pay. It also includes the information regarding the gender pay gap. And I did want to draw your attention to the gender pay gap because there's some positive news there. So on page 37, you'll see the data from last year's pay gap to this year's pay gap. So just in summary, the mean gender pay gap of minus 1.8% has decreased from last year's figure of 4.1%, which now mean women are paid higher than men. In terms of progressing towards equal pay internally, that is a positive outcome in terms of reducing that gap when compared to other public sector organisations. The median gender pay gap of minus 6.3% shows men are paid less than women on average, with women earning more at that midpoint of the pay scale. So even though there's a relative balanced distribution of men and women in each quartile, this shows that this is a positive step forward in terms of trying to achieve equal pay and no pay gap. The reason why this has occurred could be for a number of reasons. We do have a number of males who are in lower paid roles in manual work. One of the things that we're trying to do is to attract more of a balance in terms of some of the gender stereotypes for the roles that we advertise, and that's where HR is going to be working closely with recruiting managers to ensure that we can promote our jobs to different groups of people. So when it does come to equal pay, it's something that we always keep an eye on every year and ensure that there aren't any issues where you may have a man and a woman doing the same job but paid differently in terms of equal pay. However, when it comes to the gender pay gap, this is an area that will vary from year to year depending on the people that are appointed to various posts. And it's something that all organisations try to ensure that there is no pay gap if possible, but ensuring that their recruitment activities and the payment of staff is fair through that process. So I'm quite happy to take any questions that people have about the pay policy report. It's something that we promote every year on our website, and I just wanted to draw your attention to the improvements in gender pay.
Thank you, Jen. Any questions? None?
Not a question,
Paul?
but
oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, Marge. Yeah, Marge and then Paul. Yeah.
Sorry. Didn't see Paul. Not a question. Just it's good to see that. I think we've cracked the pay gap in that the fluctuations as people leave and come affect it slightly year on year, but basically we've got 50-50, you know, as near as damn it. Excuse my language.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I agree. The gender pay gap is certainly very encouraging, and but obviously it's going to fluctuate from what, if you look at the figures, they certainly do fluctuate. If I could just ask a question regarding the summary data on page 11. I noticed that the average mean pay has decreased significantly from last year, which looks odd. Have we got an explanation for that?
This is where we do apply national conditions of service, and generally it could relate to the numbers of staff that we have in employment. So we are ensuring that people are paid fairly and correctly, and this is where on page 11 you'll see that the median has changed. So we are ensuring that we are paying people as they should be in accordance with the national conditions of service.
Could it be due to fewer agency staff and more full-time staff in the depot, for example?
The pay averages aren't linked to people's working hours. It is basically based on what people are paid. But it's something that we are aware of. But we just know that we have applied pay fairly and accurately.
Thank you, Jennifer. I agree that the gender pay gap roundabout plus or minus is a good position to be in. I was also looking at page 11. The ratio of the highest salary to the mean has gone back up this year after the previous year went down. Is there anything significant in that, or is that just a statistical quirk?
There's nothing that is standing out in terms of why it's occurred in that way, to be fair. Yeah, unless any colleagues want to add anything to that.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, thanks for the report, and yeah, delighted that we can see that women's pay has now, in terms of the gender pay, is now equalled out, and that's how it should be. You wouldn't want anyone down or up. They should be paid fairly for what they do. I just wonder, what's the breakdown that we have in this council for female and male employees? What is our breakdown? Does it say somewhere in this report?
Yes, on page 37.
Okay. Can you tell me before I flick through?
Yes, I can. Just bear with me. It's roughly thereabouts 50-50.
Is it 50-50?
So I'm just going to the page
Right.
now. Just bear with me.
So we are attracting, in terms of gender, we are attracting equally.
Yes, so on page 37, so this is where there's a breakdown of males and females in each of the pay quartiles that we need to report on. So that you'll see in the upper quartile, which is the highest earners, there's 47.6% of males, 52.3% females. The mid-quarter, 53%, women, 46.9%. And then the lower mid-quarter, you've got men at 45.3%, a high number of women at 54.6%. But in the lower quartile, you've got 46.1% male and then 53.8% female.
Wow.
So there's very
Pretty
even.
Yeah, pretty even. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Mike?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Yeah, just really to ask about what's your biggest challenge to maintaining that, do you think, as you go forward, especially with things changing to potentially changing in LGR terms if it happens. What do you see as the biggest challenge to making sure that as we pass over the reins to whoever, that's maintained?
I think it's about proactivity in terms of positive recruitment. Because we are still applying national conditions of service, it's important that we promote roles, and particularly where we can find where gender pay gap's concerned, where there are potentially in some organisations fewer women applying for senior roles. We're in quite a good position here because we've got quite a number of females in senior roles, but we need to look at all levels within the organisation and understand why women aren't applying for various jobs. Some of the reasons are linked to people leaving the workforce, starting families, but then coming back into the workforce, sometimes not able to take up the careers that they've had previously because of childcare responsibilities. And so sometimes you find people, taking up different roles that they feel are more suitable for them, that perhaps has less stress or pressure. But what we want to do is to ensure that no matter what job you have, what career you have, should you leave the workforce to have a family, that shouldn't stop you progressing in your career. And so that's where we provide job share opportunities. We want to ensure that women are encouraged to come back to roles that they've had previously, maybe at a higher level that was higher paid, to ensure that they're supported in the workplace.
Thank you. Anyone else? If there's no one else, I'll ask us to move on page 7, recommendation, which is approve the proposed pay policy, statement and associated pay arrangements for employees for 26 and 2027. Also to refer the general content of the new pay policy statement to the Council for approval and subsequent publication on the Council's website. So I move that. We agreed? That's unanimous. Thank you. We'll now move on to item 5, which is exclusion of the press and public. Exclusion of the press and public to move that under the section 100A4 of the Local Government Act 1972, the public and press be excluded from the meeting during consideration of the ensuing report on the grounds that the report involves the likely disclosure of exempt information as defined in paragraph 3 of part 1 of Schedule 12A of the Local Government Act 1972. So I'll move that. We agreed? We are agreed. Thank you. So therefore that's the end.